Life has a peculiar way of giving us what we need rather than what we want. Often it's the moments of hardship that shape us the most, but in the thick of it, it feels anything but transformative. Most people live through challenges wishing for them to end, without realizing that these very struggles carry the seeds of their growth. In this video, we won't talk about the same old motivational phrases or surface-level advice. Instead, we'll dig into some less discussed truths about why life challenges you, what these struggles mean, and how you can use them to shape yourself into a stronger, more resilient person. These are insights that go beyond the ordinary, a fresh perspective on turning pain into progress. Chapter 1. The struggle is the price you pay for ambition. Ambition is a silent contract with adversity. When you decide you want more from life, whether it's success, happiness, or fulfillment, you are unknowingly asking life to challenge you. Think of it as placing an order for a stronger version of yourself, and life delivers this order through difficulties. Consider someone training for a marathon. Every ache, cramp, and moment of exhaustion is a necessary step toward crossing that finish line. But here's the catch. Most people give up halfway, not realizing the pain is part of the process. If you're struggling right now, it's not because life is unfair. It's because you've dared to dream big. The question isn't why life is hard. It's whether you'll endure long enough to reach the rewards waiting on the other side. Chapter 2. The lessons you avoid are the ones you need most. We're all guilty of running away from certain types of challenges, confrontations, failures, or even self-reflection. But the things you resist are often the exact lessons life is trying to teach you. Imagine being afraid to speak in public because of past embarrassment. Every opportunity to speak feels like torture, so you avoid it, staying in your comfort zone. However, life will keep presenting this challenge until you face it, learn from it, and grow beyond it. It's like life is a relentless teacher, and avoiding the lesson only delays your progress. The more you resist, the louder life knocks. So the next time you're avoiding something, ask yourself, is this discomfort a signal that I need to grow in this area? Chapter 3. Growth is messy and unpredictable, and that's okay. Hollywood often portrays growth as a clean, linear process, a montage of inspiring moments leading to success. Real life is far messier. Growth doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It sneaks up on you in the middle of chaos. You might find yourself crying over a failure one day, only to realize months later that this was the turning point that forced you to improve. Think about how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. It literally dissolves into a messy goo before transforming. Growth feels the same. There will be moments when you don't recognize yourself, when everything feels out of control. But this is where transformation happens. Accepting the mess is a form of progress in itself. Chapter 4. Pain is not your enemy, it's your guide. We live in a culture that tells us to avoid pain at all costs, numb it with distractions, ignore it, or run from it. But pain is one of the most honest teachers you'll ever have. It strips away pretenses, showing you what truly matters. Think about the last time you went through heartbreak. It probably hurt deeply, but it also clarified what you value in relationships. Pain forces you to reflect, to reassess your priorities, and to make changes you'd otherwise avoid. Instead of seeing pain as an enemy, start asking, what is this trying to teach me? This shift in perspective can turn even the worst moments into powerful lessons. Chapter 5. The illusion of stability and the freedom of chaos. We crave stability, a steady job, a predictable routine, a clear path forward. But stability is often an illusion, and when life disrupts it, we panic. What we don't realize is that chaos is where true freedom lies. When you lose a job or a relationship ends, it feels like your world is falling apart. But it's also an opportunity to rewrite your story. Chaos forces you to think creatively, to adapt, and to discover strengths you didn't know you had. Stability may feel safe, but it rarely pushes you to grow. Embrace the chaos. It's where life's greatest opportunities hide. Chapter 6. Rebuilding is harder, but more rewarding. When life tears everything apart, rebuilding can feel exhausting. Starting from scratch requires energy, patience, and resilience. But here's the thing. Rebuilding gives you a chance to create something better. Imagine losing everything in a fire. It's devastating, but it's also an opportunity to rebuild your home exactly the way you want it. The same applies to life. Whether it's a failed business or a personal crisis, the process of starting over allows you to incorporate the lessons you've learned, making the next version of your life stronger and more aligned with who you've become. Chapter 7. Your struggles are your greatest stories. Think about your favorite stories or movies. They're never about people who had it easy. They're about individuals who faced incredible odds and overcame them. Your struggles are what make your story worth telling. They give you depth, character, and resilience. When you're in the middle of a tough time, remind yourself, this will be the story I tell one day. This mindset doesn't make challenges easier, but it does give them meaning. Chapter 8. The power of adaptability in modern life. In a world where technology and circumstances evolve faster than ever, adaptability is your superpower. The people who thrive are not necessarily the smartest or the strongest. They are the ones who can adapt to change quickly. Imagine someone who loses their job in a traditional industry. They could wallow in despair, or they could take that moment to learn a new skill, pivot to a growing industry, or even start their own business. Adaptability isn't about having a backup plan. It's about developing the mindset to see every setback as an opportunity to reinvent yourself. When life throws you curveballs, remind yourself that your ability to adapt is what will keep you moving forward. Growth often comes disguised as disruption, so lean into it instead of resisting it. Chapter 9. Embrace the quiet, unseen work of growth. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, the idea of unseen, quiet work might seem outdated. But this is where the real transformation happens. Growth doesn't occur in flashy, Instagram-worthy moments. It happens in the early mornings, the late nights, and the moments when no one is watching. It's the athlete who trains in the off-season, the writer who revises a manuscript for the 10th time, and the entrepreneur who keeps working despite constant rejection. These moments of solitude and effort are what separate those who merely wish for success from those who achieve it. Think of growth like planting a tree. It takes years of consistent watering and sunlight before the roots are strong enough to support something magnificent. Keep watering, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Chapter 10. Gratitude for the struggle. This may sound counterintuitive, but the final and most profound step in growth is learning to be grateful for your struggles. Why? Because they are what shape you. Every setback, failure, and painful moment has brought you to where you are now. Instead of resenting the difficulties, start seeing them as life's way of preparing you for something greater. This doesn't mean pretending everything is fine when it's not. It means recognizing that even in the darkest times, there is something to be learned, something to be gained. Gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it transforms it. When you can look back at your challenges and say, "Thank you for making me stronger," that's when you know you've truly grown. Life's challenges are not here to break you. They're here to shape you. Every time you face hardship, you're being given a choice: to let it defeat you or to let it transform you. Growth is not a comfortable process, but it's a rewarding one. Embrace the mess, learn from the pain, and trust that every struggle is guiding you toward a stronger, wiser version of yourself. The next time life knocks you down, remember, you asked for growth.